Hi guys, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about WIP because today we're doing something different. So if you've been here before, you know I'm not a big WIP person. I know lots of crafters have tons of WIPs, but I don't, and let me explain why. So reason number one is that if I'm working on a project, it has to be in my line of sight. I can't put it in a bin, I can't put it in a closet, I can't put it anywhere. It has to be out. So on my desk, on my dresser, something like that. So if I have a lot of WIPs, it means there's lots of things out. And you might not know, but I'm a clean freak, kind of. I like my space to be pretty clean, so I struggle when things get dirty, so I end up putting my WIPs away, and then I forget about them, and I don't finish them. So because of that, what works best for me is to just have a few WIPs at a time. My constant goal is to have maximum 5, preferably less than 3, active WIPs at a time, but I can have like a WIP graveyard, which I feel like is a totally separate scenario. So what are my current WIPs, you might ask? WIP number 1 is the Lima Tank by Knitting for Olive. I've been working on this for the past few weeks. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. This is probably my favorite WIP at the moment. WIP number 2 is a Legally Blonde pillow. I finished the front. As you can see, it says "What, like it's hard," and right now I'm working on the back panel. And then my last active WIP, I would call it, is this Bear Lovey. As you can see, I'm working on blocking the blanket. It's completely dry right now, actually. The head is completely done. I just need to embroider the eyes and sew the head on this, and then that one's all done. I do also have like a long-term WIP that I also kind of don't count in my WIP pile because I'm working on a scrappy blue sweater and I'm running out of scraps, so I can't work on it. So that one just kind of is always existing, and I also don't really prioritize that right now because it's summer, so I'm like, that I'll figure that out when it comes to fall. And if I need to thrift a bunch of blue yarn or borrow some from my friends, I can do that. But anyway, those are my active WIPs. But I mentioned WIP graveyard earlier. I do have a WIP graveyard. My graveyard usually consists of projects that have gone wrong and need to be frogged or need to be changed or something like that, so let me show you. This is my WIP graveyard bin. Let's see what's inside. This is WIP number 1. I was planning on making this into a dress. It just goes around the back like this. I was gonna put on straps. As you can see, I'm starting to decrease. I was gonna make like a V and then make a little skirt, add some straps. I'm pretty happy with this one, but I stopped working on it just because I moved. I was working on this right before I left Florida and I just never picked it back up. I do have the yarn with me. It's Lion brand 24/7 cotton. It's really nice. And I think I'm using like the V-stitch. So maybe I should revive this at some point. This is just a problem for another day, okay? My second project in the WIP graveyard bin is this scrappy sweater that needs to be frogged. I just find this so incredibly ugly. I just can't take it. I kind of did something similar to my blue scrappy sweater that I'm working on right now, where I took a bunch of kind of scrap, not really, like 1/4 and 1/2 skeins, and just cut them up and started knitting a sweater based off of it. I don't like it. I need to take this apart at some point because the blue in this can be used for my blue scrappy sweater that I'm actually gonna like. So yeah, this is project number 2. This is definitely gonna be taken apart. And what is project number 3? I'm glad you asked. WIP number 3 is the reason why we're here today. This is a Punisher sweater vest that I was making for my sister. As you can tell, I got like 90% of the way done. I think all I had to do was the bottom ribbing, but it was too small for her. So I just put it in the bin and I was like, I'm never touching this again because it got so close to being done, it was the wrong size. And recently I was like, you know what? I really should finish this because she asks about it sometimes, and I'm really happy with how the chart turned out. So I decided I'm going to transform this WIP a little bit. It's a sweater vest right now, but I think what I'm gonna do is take off the ribbing, take apart the panels, and just turn it into a little tote bag. Like, I think this would be so cute as a little tote. My only concern with it is that it's made out of acrylic, and usually I don't like to do tote bags out of acrylic. I usually like to do them out of cotton because I feel like they're sturdier, but at least she'll have something. It's better than nothing, right? But yeah, in this video, I want to be trying to transform this WIP. I see my sister in less than a week. Today is Tuesday. I'm going to be visiting her on Monday. So, can I get this done in time? We'll see. Okay, it's a few days later, whatever. I'm about to sit down and watch some TV, and I'm gonna start taking this apart. Yay! It's Wednesday. I need to work on this. I'm being stupid. Why am I seam ripping these panels? I don't need to do that. All I need to do is seam rip the top and frog up until the armpits. I don't know why I'm seam ripping this. Oh my gosh, I just got halfway done before I realized, what am I doing? I'll just leave it open like this, seam rip, and then start to frog. I actually am not sure that this is gonna work. I might have to add a couple more rows above the skull because the skull ends like right before the armpit, and the armpit is where the shaping happens. So the bag would be like this. I don't want the skull to be like at the very top of the bag, so I'll probably end up having to add a couple more rows on top, but that's okay. Just to make the skull kind of like even in the panel. All right, I just separated the back and the front. So now I'm going to frog until I get to the armpit area. Okay, it's a little bit later. I ended up frogging both my panels until the armpit point where it starts shaping. So now they're both just giant rectangles. This is what it looks like. And I was planning on adding more rows, but I realized the skull is perfectly centered. So now I'm kind of like, okay, how big do I want this bag to be? Like, is this an okay size bag? I kind of think it is. It's more square than rectangle, and I feel like totes are usually rectangles, but I don't know. I don't know if I care that much. And I want it to be centered. So I guess I could attach my yarn at the bottom and add more rows to the bottom, but I don't think I want to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is sew up the side that I took apart, and then sew the bottom up, and then start making my straps, and then we'll be ready to go. I was planning on lining this, but I just don't have time. There's no way. But my sister has a sewing machine, so she can freaking line it herself if she wants to. Anyway, that's the update for today. This is going to be a much shorter video than I expected now that I just need to sew it up and add straps. I thought it was going to be more intense. I guess I should have known. It's basically a bag already, but that's okay. Okay, this is what the bag's looking like. I've sewn the bottom shut and the sides, and now I'm gonna work on the straps. I would love to make the straps red, like this skull, but I really just don't have enough of that yarn. So I decided to do a combo black and red strap. So this strap I think is 120 stitches long. I've got 2 rows of black. I'm gonna do a row of red and then 2 more rows of black. This is basically exactly what I did for my Flower Power tote bag. I did 5 rows of like over 100 stitches, and then what I'm gonna do is sew them like kind of over the front panel to just give it more structure. So it's not just like sewn to the top row, it's sewn over like the first 5 rows of the panel on the front and the back, just to make sure it's stronger, because usually I like to make my bags out of cotton yarn, but this one's obviously out of acrylic because it was going to be a sweater vest. I just want to give the straps as much support as I can by sewing them kind of covering a couple rows here. So yeah, this is where we're at. My sister comes in tomorrow. Okay. All right, I've just finished both of my straps, so now all I need to do is sew them to the top of this bag, and my sister gets in town tomorrow, so I just gotta do it before then. I've got plenty of time. For now, it's a really nice day, so I'm gonna go outside and read my book. Yay. Hello, it is now Monday. I've got a pretty background as you can see, but the birds are really loud and so is the wind chime, so I'm using my phone because I see Jada use her phone all the time as a mic. Is it gonna work? I don't know. But anyway, it is Monday. I finished both of my straps. So today, all I need to do is sew them on because she comes in today. So I just need to sew them on before she gets here, but I'm working all day. So I'm gonna try to see if I can find 5 minutes, in between meetings or during lunch or something to work on them or something like that. Try to find time to finish it before she gets here, because she gets here at like 3. So she doesn't even get here after I finish working. We'll see how that goes. It'll be okay. But yeah, again, sorry for the noises. It's pretty outside, but at what cost? The cost of you being able to hear me talk. That's all. Okay, I'm whispering because she's here and I had a crazy work day, so I haven't had a chance to work on this, but I'm about to work on it right now and I'm being blinded by the sun, but it's okay. I'm try to do it real quick while my brother's distracting her on the back porch. He's not really distracting her. He doesn't know that I want her to be distracted, but we're gonna finish it right now. I have to go, but it's not done yet. I just dropped a needle down the deck. I'm never getting that back. Hello, it's the next day. Obviously, I didn't finish that because, as y'all saw, I was getting pulled into dinner, so I couldn't finish it on time. I'm being kind of quiet because she's right outside, and I'm trying to finish this right now before we go to dinner. I'm going to redo the straps from yesterday, honestly, because I was freaking out, so they were done pretty poorly. So I'm just going to take a deep breath, redo them carefully, and then we'll give it to her. Hello. It's multiple days later. My sister has been here the whole time. I've just been kind of hiding it from her. I have yet to finish the bag. So the last time you saw me, I was undoing the straps because the other day I tried to do it before dinner and then I was just getting stressed out because I was about to go to dinner and she was walking around the house and she was going to see me and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a surprise. So I sewed them on really terribly. So the other day I took them off and now I'm going to try to sew them on very calmly and chilly. I'm going to go somewhere she's not and just take some time and sew the straps on properly. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. The wind today is absolutely insane and there's a dog outside going crazy. So yeah, we're gonna try to sew the straps on again. Calmly. Let's do this. I'm not bald. My hair is braided and it's so short you can't even see. Okay, I'm gonna bring her in and show her. Let's do this. I'm just gonna do that so she doesn't see the camera. So, I showed it to her. She's very excited. I tried to record her reaction and then I turned off the camera. So, you don't get to see her reaction, which is kind of a bummer because she was excited about it. But anyway, so yeah, the bag is done. So I told her about the qualms of the acrylic yarn. Usually I would make this out of cotton so it'd be sturdier. So I said she might want to sew a lining for the bag, but she's got a sewing machine so she can freaking do that. And then I told her, oh, like if you want, I could take the straps off. You might want to take them off and sew fabric to the underside of the straps because people do that to, strengthen the straps so they won't stretch over time. Then again, instead of doing straps this way, like row, 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 I did row, row, because this way, it won't stretch as much as this way. So at least it won't stretch that much over time. But I was like, you might want to take them off and sew some fabric to it. And she said no. So I'm going to just weave in all the ends and then she gets to take it home and sew a lining into it. She's excited though. She was like, oh my gosh, I was thinking about this the other day. I was wondering what happened with that. I was wondering if you were going to finish it. And I was like, I'm not gonna, but I'm going to turn it into something else. Because, this is at least better than nothing, right? But anyway, we've had a successful WIP revival with this bag. It was a sweater vest. It is now a cute little bag that she gets to take to work and scare her coworkers with. So we're pretty excited. And yeah, now I just need to spend a few days weaving the ends, but then she gets to take it home. But yeah, that's going to be all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see what other WIPs I transform into something else and or a frog, stay tuned for the next video. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.